When I started to talk about classes, I said there is something that I am doing in a bit improper way. Today we will fix that using a constructor, which is just a method to construct the object. Observe here, I am having a function named underscore underscore init underscore underscore. The word init is abbreviation for initialize. And like any method in a class, it should start with an object we are naming here itself. But there is something a bit interesting. We are also adding here 3 parameters: name, salary, and address. So we have a self.name equal name, self.salary equal salary, self.address equal address. So far so good. We are just initializing our function with 3 variables here, very similar to the read function, for example. Now here is the new syntax style. When you write employee, if you passed the parameters here, these 3 parameters, Python automatically will call the function init and pass these 3 variables this way. So the init is a reserved method that is used to create the object. So just making things more convenient for you. Like I don't want to create an object of Mustafa and I started to say Mustafa.name equal blah blah blah, Mustafa.salary, Mustafa.address. We can make things in the caller side more convenient by opening braces, passing parameters, matching exactly the same parameters in the function. Remember, we are passing here 3 arguments, but we have here 4 parameters, not just 3, because we have the extra self thing. So I would like you to see the init very similar to the reading function, but it is just a reserved method. Remember, before that, I used to put the name, salary, address under the employee class and access them directly. This is a bit improper. We will learn later what is the usage of that. For now, from now on, I would like you to stick to the init method when you would like to create your own variables. Even if the variable will have nothing, maybe you can just say self.name equal none. The second thing here, I would like to show you that things can get more complicated easily in practice. So here is a class, I'm naming it full name, and there is another class employee. So I am defining 2 data types, full name and employee. And for the class full name, I am using a constructor. The constructor refers here to the init method that will help us to construct the function, or construct the object, sorry. So the init method here is taking 2 parameters, first name and last name. And then it initializing the first name to first name and last name to the last name. And there is also an optional middle name that we, for now, is assigning it to none. So far, so good, so straightforward. The class employee is receiving 4 parameters, first name, last name, salary, and address. But observe here, the first attribute in the employee is named full name. It's equal an object coming from full name. So I'm creating full name object with the first name and last name. And then I'm defining my 2 other attributes. This means that the employee class is referring to the full name class. In other words, when we have an employee object, the employee object itself will have an object of another object. So this is how the class has a class and the object has an object inside it. And this is how you create a complex system. You create a class of university. Inside it, you have a class of computer science, and the class of information technology, and the class of, like referring to it, class of, say, information system. And now an object from university will have an object from CS department, and IS department, and IT department, and so on. Let's say you would like to print the current object. You can print it as following. You can print here, see the syntax, C self.fullName. Self.fullName by itself is an object. So I can say dot first name. So you see here, observe the 2 dot syntax. You are using it twice to get inside it. So if there is an object inside it, an object inside it, an object inside it, an object, you can use dot 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 to keep getting inside it. In a similar way, I can say C self.fullName dot last name, and so on. Notice that I could easily here, maybe if you defined a printing function here in the full name, I can say here in the employee self.fullName.print, so just printing it here, and this is actually more proper, but I wanted to show you the syntax of using dot and dot. It's very important to get used to structuring your system in a complex way. So please put an effort to understand that system and play with it. That's all.